Tchaikovsky's Wife. It is a French-Russian co-production film set in Russia in the 19th century. It tells about the marriage of the famous composer Tchaikovsky. Tchaikovsky does not like women, but Antonina is in love with him. Antonina marries Tchaikovsky despite all her family's objections. However, Antonina, who thinks she can change Tchaikovsky, enters into a destructive struggle for herself. This situation will cause him to lose his mental health over time. Tchaikovsky takes refuge in his music to escape from this strange marriage. The film tells the events from Antonina's point of view. It powerfully reflects Antonina's love, jealousy, anger, despair and madness. Elena Mikhailova gives a great performance as Antonina. Odin Byron is also very successful in his role as Tchaikovsky. Even though this 2022 movie got an average score from IMDb, it was a really good movie for me. The process leading to madness is explained very well with visual techniques and acting. The ending of the movie is interesting, as in this type of productions. I think you should not miss this movie. Never Let Me Go. It is a British dystopian romantic drama film shot in 2010. Adapted from Kazuo Ishiguro's novel of the same name. The film is about the love of three friends named Kathy, Ruth and Tommy in an alternative history and their use as organ donors by society. The movie starts in 1978. Kathy, Ruth and Tommy grow up in a boarding school called Hailsham. Here, they learn that they are specially created clones and must donate their organs when they become adults. Forced to confront this reality, the three friends also struggle with the emotional bonds that develop between them. Kathy is in love with Tommy, but Ruth begins dating him. Tommy, on the other hand, feels that Ruth does not love him, but he does not think that there may be something between her and Kathy. Three friends start living in a place called the Cottages. Here, they meet other clones and learn more about the outside world. Kathy starts working as a caregiver. Caregivers are people who help clones donate organs. Kathy sees Ruth and Tommy occasionally, but the distance between them increases. Ruth tells Kathy and Tommy that two women named Miss Emily and Madam, who teach at Hailsham, may be able to allow the clones to extend their lives. Hearing this, the three friends go to Miss Emily and Madam's house. They learn that Hailsham is the only school that gives clones a humane education. What awaits them here? The film tells a story in which clones accept their fate and die as they donate their organs. The film deals with themes such as whether clones are human or not, whether they have human rights, love, friendship, death and regret. It emotionally conveys to us the pain and despair experienced by the clones. Some scenes of the film depict the pain and despair of the clones so realistically that they may upset the audience. Therefore, it may be good to be prepared about this before watching the movie. This movie is one of the movies that was able to answer some of the questions in my mind. As someone who enjoys movies that answer questions and open our horizons, I highly recommend this movie. The Killing of a Sacred Deer. It is a revenge story from mythology to the present day. It is adapted from the novel of the same name by Thomas P. Cullinan. The 2017 Irish film is an extraordinary and disturbing production that brings together both mythological and psychological elements. It is based on a legend from Greek mythology. According to legend, the king named Agamemnon hunts the sacred deer of Artemis. For this crime, Artemis asks Agamemnon to sacrifice her daughter. Agamemnon sacrifices his daughter Iphigenia, but this causes bigger troubles for him. In the modern version of the film, a heart surgeon named Stephen Murphy helps a young man named Martin. Martin's father dies during a surgery performed by Stephen. Martin blames Stephen for his father's death and curses his family. He tells Stephen that he must choose one of his family and kill him. Otherwise, members of his family will alternately become paralyzed, lose their appetite, vomit blood, and die. Stephen doesn't believe Martin's words, but the strange signs of illness in his family worry him. He tries various ways to stop Martin, but fails. In the end, he is forced to kill one of his family members. The film questions the dark aspects of human nature and the effects of destructive emotions such as revenge. The characters in the film do not show their emotions much, and this increases the mystery of the film. The film is an extraordinary and disturbing film that transforms a mythological revenge spiral into a modern family drama. It is a good option for those who are interested in both mythology and psychology. I recommend you to watch this interesting movie. The Painted Veil. It is a 2006 romantic drama film adapted from W. Somerset Maugham's novel of the same name. The movie takes place in China in the 1920s. It tells about the marriage of Kitty and Walter and the fight against cholera. Kitty does not love Walter, but she marries Walter under her mother's pressure. Walter is a bacteriologist and takes Kitty to his place of duty in China. Kitty gets bored here and gets close to Walter's friend Charlie. When Walter learns about this situation, he does not abandon Kitty and takes her to a village where there is a cholera epidemic. Kitty thinks Walter wants revenge and hates him. In this village, he is afraid of both cholera and the Chinese villagers. Walter tries to prevent the disease, but fails. Over time, Kitty realizes that Walter is actually a good person and that she respects him. Walter also sees that Kitty has changed and is more interested in her. A rapprochement begins between the two. Meanwhile, Walter falls ill with cholera. Kitty finds out that she is pregnant and wants to give birth to the child. The film reflects the development of the characters very well, both individually and as a couple. Naomi Watts and Edward Norton are very successful in their roles. The images show both the beauty of China and the devastation of cholera. This 2006 Canadian film is emotional and impressive. China has always been an intriguing country to explore for me. I especially love movies about China in those years. The images and landscapes in the film are both very beautiful and interesting and show the destructiveness of cholera. The movie is very good. I recommend you watch it. The Night of the series, produced by the BBC for HBO, is an 8-episode miniseries. It was made in America in 2016. The series is a psychological thriller that tells the investigation and trial process of a Pakistani citizen named Nasir Khan, who is accused of killing a girl. His school friends invite Nasir to a night party. Nasir decides to go to the party with his friend and informs his family. After dinner, he tells his friend Nasir that he cannot come with him. Thereupon, Nasir takes his father's taxi without his family's knowledge and sets off to the party. While Nasir was trying to turn off the available light in the taxi, a few customers got into the taxi and Nasir got them out of the taxi. But then Andrea Cornish gets into a taxi and says she wants to go to the beach. Thereupon, even though Nasir states that he is not working, he wants to take Andrea wherever he wants and they set off. Nasir and Andrea go to the riverside first. Then they go to Andrea's house. Nasir, who consumed a lot of alcohol at home, found himself waking up in the kitchen downstairs later that night. Nasir, who does not remember what happened that night, goes upstairs because he wants to say goodbye to Andrea. In the next part of the series, we see Nasir Khan's arrest and trial process. It also tells the story of a lawyer who is not very successful in the film business, as he improves and transforms himself with Nasir's case. The fact that an individual whose crime has not been fully proven is declared guilty in a very short time shows us how the wheel of justice works. Does justice only want to find the guilty and not the real criminal? As a matter of fact, Nasir was found guilty very quickly, and even the slightest possibility that he might have been right was ignored by the police officers. The Night of is a gripping and realistic series about how an alleged murder can change a life and how the justice system can become crooked. The series is interesting for both crime and drama lovers. I don't think you should miss this series, which has won 14 awards.